Hi, I'm Beth Winstead. I'm a member of the Beta Alpha chapter in Region 2. I live in Greenville and our chapter serves Pitt County. This workshop is entitled Saving Our History. You're not going to find slides, PowerPoints, or videos. I simply want to talk with you about the importance of saving our history, in particular our Delta Kappa Gamma chapter history. My goals for this workshop are to raise awareness for the fact that we're losing our chapter history and to have you plan with your chapter on how you're going to save your chapter history. I had this workshop all done, and then I had an experience this weekend that's made me stop and rethink. And I want to share that with you. My daughter is here cleaning out her former childhood bedroom. She's lived in that house and mostly in that room all of her 32 years, except for a couple of years here and there. She's recently moved out of town and we're ready to sell the house. But that room was full to the brim. We have boxed up beanie babies. We have boxed up trophies. We have thrown out childhood posters, all those kinds of things that your child saves in their room. But we've also had some interesting conversations and shared some laughter and some tears over things that were part of her history. She found a folder that was the poetry that she wrote in middle school. Now, I apologize, English and language arts teachers. I do not know all the different types of poetry, but she had a poem for each one. She read each one of them out loud to me and talked about what it meant, whether it was good or not, and corrected her own type of spelling at some points also. That was part of her history, and part of her history that's not going to stay around for most kids now. She found a church bulletin. There was nothing important about that bulletin that we could figure out, but it gave her the opportunity to think about past people, think about the staff that were there and the experiences that she had. She found a letter that I had typed to her when she was 15 on appropriate internet use for a 15-year-old, complete with the punishment she was going to receive. She found the speech that she wrote, which she gave at church when she was a senior in high school on Youth Sunday. That came with a lot of tears and a lot of laughter as we shared that. We found pictures, and you go back and you look at those pictures and what people were wearing, and we laughed and we cried. But it made me think about this workshop because you see, 30 years from now, children today aren't going to have that experience. All their poetry probably is on somebody's computer drive, which may or may not exist when they leave that classroom. Their pictures are probably on a cell phone or a computer, but not printed out or put anywhere. Church bulletins don't necessarily exist in every church anymore. And most children probably had that talk about internet etiquette a whole lot before they were 15. But all those pieces of history are important. Now think about our chapters. How many times have you looked at older chapter pictures, pointed out people who used to be members, watched the way other people have promoted and moved on, or just thought about people that have passed and what they did with your chapter, their importance in your life? Have you ever gone back and looked at the award certificates that your chapter earned? Or maybe a program from a ceremony of remembrance? What about your chapter newsletters? How easy is it to read your chapter newsletter a year from now? Now, another thing we have to think about is digital only tends to exclude some people. Digital only excludes people who don't use computers, and there are members that don't. It also is difficult for members who only use it on their phone, not on a full-size computer. And we have a lot of people going that way. Digital only also excludes members who may have a disability. Our seeing and hearing uh, members members that have difficulty seeing or hearing may not be able to see your newsletter, or they might not be able to hear the fancy things that you put on your site. Taking care of all of our members is important. We don't want to leave anybody out. Now, how do you save them? The odds are that this isn't very useful anymore. And let's think about it. Do we know how long this is going to be useful? There are computers now that not only don't have disk drives, CD drives, they don't come with USB drives anymore. We have to look at the formats that we put things in. So, where are you storing it? How are people accessing it? Think about backing your machine up. I was thinking the other day, I was doing pretty good. I had my machine backed up to my external hard drive until it occurred to me that my external hard drive sat right beside my computer, plugged into the same power strip. One electrical surge would have taken out everything. What about natural disasters? If anything happened to one person's home, what would your chapter lose? What format are you going to save it in? We have a lot of newsletters that come out in fabulous new formats. But will anybody be able to read that in a year? Often, new newsletter programs that come out that are free are only free for a few months. And don't read to see who owns the material, or that if you cancel the membership subscription, you may not have access to that anymore. Be sure you check those things out. If you're the chapter webmaster, what if something happens to you? Who else can get to your chapter website? This has been an issue in many chapters in North Carolina. I recommend that you write down the program that is used, the login information, and the password, and put it in a sealed envelope and have someone hold it, whether that is the chapter president or the recording secretary. This may be one of the things that you include with the chapter talking about. What are we going to keep? How are we going to keep it? Now, basically, I'm looking at 4 different types of materials from chapters. That's what I want to talk about today. First, we have our chapter yearbook. Now, this is my chapter yearbook. It's now full size. And we went electronic this year. Most people got it virtually. It saved our chapter money. We didn't have to print off as many copies. And I find it easier on my computer. I can search it, and then I can find the piece of information I need. But it's living on my computer. In fact, the past 3-4 years live on my computer and not anybody else's. Is there a paper copy somewhere? We need to make sure. We need to make sure that we're mailing a paper copy or giving one to our members that may or may not have access otherwise. And if you're the person that creates it, make sure somebody knows what machine software you use. Think about WordPerfect. WordPerfect doesn't exist anymore. Or somebody who uses the latest version of Word. If they save it in that format, a person who owns 2 versions back won't be able to open it. Make sure you save your newsletter also as a PDF format. The PDF format is currently a standard that people can access materials. Everything you have should have a saved copy as a PDF. What about your chapter newsletters? This is my chapter newsletter. It has great pictures, lots of information. It's a number of pages. It's emailed to all of our members, and it is mailed to a few that don't have access. But I'm aware that a lot of chapters are using new types of software and programs. And there are a lot of really snazzy ones out there. You can open your newsletter and things will pop up and things like that. But there again, what is it going to be like in a year? Will you have access to it in a year? Who can actually read your newsletter? Make sure you save it a copy as a PDF. In fact, the communications committee, when they're judging or scoring yearbooks, when they're scoring newsletters, prefers a paper copy. They also to work from. That committee, the communications committee, when they are going through for the awards, they prefer to be able to see, be able to print out a PDF copy so they can take a look at it. Not everybody can read it online. It's not the format a lot of us operate in. So be sure that it is a system or it's a program that others can access. Save a PDF copy. Make sure you have a print copy somewhere. What about scrapbooks? We have lots of things. Certificates, rewards, programs, initiation ceremonies, photographs, newspaper clippings, all those things have to live somewhere. Scanning them into a computer and saving them digitally is one option. The question is, what then? Recently, what our chapter did was they scanned them in and made them digital, but they printed off a few copies. Having a print copy to store away in your files is a great way to make sure your history is available for people to look at in the future. And finally, your website. Websites change. What you do today is not going to be the same as what you did for 3 years. There is a method of archiving a website on the internet so that people can see it. But what I find the best use for a chapter website is to simply do a screen print of your website. There are clip and snip programs out there where you can go out and catch an image of your screen. Capture that image, cut and paste it into a program, and then print it out so that you see on your website what was on there 3 years ago. Sometimes it comes in handy when you've had a really great website, and then 3 years later, if somebody starts a project and you're like, does it look like before? So back up your website or keep a history of your website by making a screenshot or cut and pasting a screen so you know what your website looks like. We want to make sure that in 20 or 30 years, people can see what we've been through the past couple of years. Our chapters adapted, but we don't want it adapted so well that we've left out a member. So I want you again to think, how can we save our history? How can you save your history? What can we do to spread the word of Delta Kappa Gamma to more people than just whose computer